Hello everyone, welcome to MVP Vishwakosha. Today we are discussing 12th September 2025 current affairs. In that first point, that is about pradhanmantrimatyasampadayojana, that is 5 years completion of pradhanmantrimatyasampadayojana, and about that Matsya and its 5 years achievement and all. Okay, you should know about that Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. Okay, it is launched in September 2020. So it is a flagship scheme. Okay, it is by Government of India under the Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairy. Okay, it is 5 years. That is from 2020 to 2025. Okay, total investment of 20,050 crore. Okay, so what are main objective? That is Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana is built around the aim of that triggering a blue revolution. Okay, that is by developing the fisheries sector, ensuring sustainability, enhancing livelihoods, reducing losses, and also improving infrastructure. Okay, etc. Some of the main goals that to increase fish production, that is both marine as well as inland, including aquaculture, and also modernize fisheries infrastructure, fishing harbors, cold chain and processing hatcheries, integrated aqua parks, and also reduce post-harvest losses from high levels 20-25% to about 10%, and also enhance export to of fish and fish products, generate employment direct and indirect in fisheries, and also empowerment and welfare of fisheries and fish farmers, particularly small scale and women. Okay, so in these 5 years, some of the achievement that fish production, India achieved record fish production of 195 lakh tons, okay, under PM MSY. Okay, and also livelihoods that generated about 58 lakh direct plus indirect employment opportunities, and also women empowerment. Nearly 99,000 18 women have been empowered, included under the scheme. All that infrastructure development in that integrated aqua parks. Okay, 11 integrated aqua parks approved. Seaweed production targets achieved. Almost 1.12 million tons seaweed by 2025. Fishing harbor modernization. All that and also that is very important. That focus on green and smart harbors, blue boats, all that. Okay. So that is a very important scheme, exam perspective and 5 years completion. Okay. Next news that is about recent news about that is Dr. Vishnuvardhan and B. Saroja Devi being conferred the Karnataka Ratna. Okay, that is posthumously. So in this, the Karnataka cabinet decided to confer the Karnataka Ratna, the highest civilian honor of Karnataka. Okay, posthumously on actors Dr. Vishnuvardhan and B. Saroja Devi. Okay. Also, the state government resolved recommended, okay, that Rashtrakavi Kuempu, okay, that is Kuppalli Venkatappa Puttappa for the Bharat Ratna, okay, that is India's highest civilian ever. So the decision to honor Vishnuvardhan comes in the wake of controversies, memorial at Binam Studio and also Bengaluru, where he had been cremated. So was demolished in August, okay, following a High Court order which had caused public outcry. So and also B. Saroja Devi died recently. Okay, her film career spans many decades across multiple languages. So you should know about both that three personalities. Very in personality news, very important. That is Dr. Vishnuvardhan, B. Saroja Devi, and Kuempu. Dr. Vishnuvardhan, one of the iconic actors of Kannada cinema, known by the title Sahasa Simha. He acted in over 200 films in Kannada and other languages, and he is widely respected for his versatility, popular appeal, and contribution to the state's film culture. Next is that B. Saroja Devi, a veteran actress, one of the leading female stars across Kannada, Tamil, Telugu, and even Hindi cinema. In earlier decades, she was awarded Padma Shri in 1969, Padma Bhushan in 1992, known for her elegance and screen presence and first lady superstar status of Kannada cinema. And Kuvempu is a distinguished Kannada writer, author of Sri Ramayana Darshanam, among others, recipient of the Jnanapita Award, holder of Rashtrakavi title. His works are foundational in Kannada literature. Okay, very important that significance of Karnataka Ratna and decisions by cabinet. Okay, and highest civilian honor. Next news that is about India USA trade and defense deal negotiation. Okay, that is some of the updates in that. know that recent some of the report that trade talks and trade deal progress. So India and US are negotiating a bilateral trade agreement. Okay, that Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal has said both sides are satisfied with the progress, and US Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick has indicated that the trade deal depends in part on India stopping purchase of oil from Russia. And also, first tranche of trade deal is expected to finalize by November 2025. And also, the US NI designated Sergey Lavrov has said deal is imminent and both sides are not very far apart. And also that trade tensions, right, US has imposed 25 reciprocal tariff on all Indian imports and additional 25% tariff, right? It's a penalty for India buying oil from Russia. So total is 50%. So India has called these measures unfair, unreasonable, unjustified. One of US conditions is that India reduce or stop its Russian oil imports. So in that is about main trade deal. Coming to defense, that alongside there is a major defense procurement under negotiations. India is in talk to buy 6 additional P-8I maritime patrol surveillance aircraft from the US Boeing, and also worth USD 3 to 4 billion. And also US delegation including defense department officials and Boeing executive is expected to visit India and for detailed negotiations. Okay, all that P-8 already operate in India. 12 aircraft in service, 8 acquired in 2009 and 4 in 2016. The additional 6 will boost maritime surveillance, anti-submarine, anti-surface warfare. Okay. All that this development, both trade and defense, are happening after a period of strain in the US relation barriers, and the leaders, both Modi and Trump, have made orders to improve their relations, and trade negotiations are back on track. So all that trade tariffs, Russian oil import, in that issue, US want to India to stop or reduce import of Russian oil. And trade deal for all that defense procurement, strategic geopolitical alignment, domestic political economic constraint, all that perspective is very important. Next news, that is about Lanza and 3D air surveillance radar is being installed in India by Tata and Indra. So that Tata Advanced System TASL in collaboration with Spanish defense firm Indra has commissioned the first indigenous naval variant of the Lanza 3D air surveillance radar called Lanza N. So that is an Indian Navy warship. It's been developed, assembled, integrated and tested locally, and also including a radar assembly, a testing facility in TASL's plant in Karnataka. Okay, that's Tata's plant in Karnataka, and the 3D radar was put through sea trials and now fully operational. And Lanza is an 3D air surveillance radar. It's a technical side, a 3D air surveillance radar that detect not just in that is direction and range or distance of aerial target, but also the altitude, height. So this is a critical for advanced tracking of aircraft, drones, missiles. So Lanza is a series by Indra, Spain. Lanza is a naval version of adapted for warship-based operations, and some of the key capabilities include detecting supersonic aircraft, drones, anti-radiation missiles, and distinguishing airborne versus ground threats. So very important that indigenization, self-reliance, Atmanirbhar Bharat in defense, strategic capability enhancement, technology transfer and collaborations, okay, and deterrence, geopolitics, all that perspective is very important. Next point, that is about recent news, okay, that is recent India statement on Israel attack on Qatar. So Israel carried out an airstrike in Doha, Qatar, right? So targeting a meeting of Hamas political leaders, okay, who were reportedly discussing that US brokered ceasefire proposal. So the strike killed at least 5 Hamas members and Qatari security officer. The core negotiating team reportedly survived. The target was significant because it is a mediation setting involved in Qatar, which has been a key mediator in Israel-Gaza conflict. And that PM Modi's statement. So PM Modi spoke with the Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani. So to express India's deep concern over the strikes, and also India condemned what it is called a violation of sovereignty of Qatar. India emphasized that it is about resolving issues through dialogue and diplomacy and urged restraint and to avoid escalation. And also India also reaffirmed its support for peace and stability in the region and condemned terrorism in all its forms and main manifestations. Okay, very important that while violation of sovereignty, diplomacy and mediation undermined regional implication, Indian foreign policy posture. Okay, India's remarks is been relatively strong. Okay, all that is more cautious statement. India's substantial national in Qatar energy ties, and also India normally emphasizes non-interference, sovereignty, diplomacy, and all. Law and international norms, all that perspective, it is very important. Regional stabilities. Okay. Next is that is Adivani and Adi Sanskriti beta version of Ministry of Tribal Affairs. So here Adivani and Adi Sanskriti. Adivani, the Ministry of Tribal Affairs has launched a beta version of Adivani, and AI-powered translation tool for tribal language, and also developed by a consortium led by IIT Delhi along with the BITS Pilani, IIT Naya Raipur, IIT Hyderabad, and several tribal research institute in states like Jharkhand, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Meghalaya. And also its beta version supports translation between Hindi, English, and some tribal languages. Santali, Bil, Mundari, Gondi language like Kui and Garo are in pipeline. So features include real-time text and speech translation, all that is no, right? And Adi Sanskriti, the ministry has also launched the beta version of Adi Sanskriti, a digital platform, digital university for tribal heritage culture, and three main components: Adi Vishwavidyalaya, Adi Sampada, Adi Hut. Okay. So it is intended to eventually evolve into a full tribal digital university offering certification, advanced research, and more courses. So all that perspective, that preservation of tribal language and culture. India has 461 tribal languages. Okay. And also inclusion access of governance, education, technology plus community participation, livelihood, economic empowerment, policy, and constitution alignment. In that perspective, it is very, very important. Next news that is about recent news, that is discovery of two new aspergillus species in the Western Ghats. Okay, so Indian mycologists have identified two new fungal species belong to the genus Aspergillus. The Western Ghats, a global biodiversity hotspot. The discovery highlights the rich fungal diversity of India and importance of conserving fragile ecosystem. So that Aspergillus newly identified species name reported by researchers are often linked with region ecological traits found in soil samples and decaying plant matter in the Western Ghats. Okay, morphological traits and DNA sequencing characterize using. So all that very important belongs to that is filamentous fungi. Okay, both beneficial use and pathogen species. Western Ghats, UNESCO World Heritage Site, you should know, important. And hotspot, okay, endemism and biodiversity spans in Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu. And biodiversity discovery in India. So each year, India reports hundreds of new species, that is flora, fauna, and fungi. So reflects India's mega diversity status. Okay, all that environment, biodiversity perspective, discovery, ecological importance, and conservation angle, all that perspective is very important. Okay. Next news that is about first overseas Atal Innovation Center in the UAE. Okay, so that is during the official visit of to the United Arab Emirates, India inaugurated its first overseas Atal Incubation Innovation Center under the Atal Innovation Mission at that's IIT Delhi Abu Dhabi campus. Okay, so the launch was done by the Indian Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan. So alongside two academic programs were also inaugurated: a PhD program in energy and sustainability, and also a BTech program in chemical engineering. Discussion and UAE education authorities, okay, were held covering areas like Indian curriculum based schools, Atal tinkering labs in schools, student teacher exchange, curriculum development. So all that you should know about, very important, that Atal Innovation Mission, a flagship initiative of the Government of India under Niti Aayog to promote innovation, entrepreneurship, and culture of innovation in the country. It encompasses Atal tinkering labs in schools, Atal incubation centers in higher education, innovation institution, and other platforms. Okay, all that is very important. Okay, recent news, and also regulatory, legal, and intellectual property issues, and cultural institution difference and cost, sustainability, talent and brain circulation, equity, and SS. Okay, all that perspective, it is very important. Next is UN Human Rights Council, Geneva, involving India and that is Switzerland and Pakistan. About, okay, that event was that fifth meeting of 60th session of the United Nations Human Rights Council in Geneva. Okay, so in that Switzerland as the current president of UNHRC. So in that made remarks urging India to take effective measure to protect minorities and uphold freedom of expression and freedom of the media. So in that India, the diplomat Srijit Tyagi, responded with a strong rebuttal, calling the Swiss remarks surprising, shallow, and ill-informed. And also, India urged Switzerland to focus on its own domestic challenge like racism, systematic discrimination, and xenophobia. Okay. And also, India also pushed back against Pakistan in the same session. India accused Pakistan of being a failed state, of spreading recycled falsehoods, being a terror sponsor or supporter of minority, etc. Reference were made to incident like the Pahalgam attack to Pakistan alleged affinity of harboring or supporting terrorist groups. So all that you should know about Switzerland's remarks and also regarding Pakistan. Okay, all that significance, sovereignty and non-interference, international damage, diplomacy, human rights, accountability, use of international forum, domestic politics, national identity. Okay, in that you should know about United Nations Human Rights Council, its role, human rights oversight, current presidency, that is Switzerland. Okay, India's face all that sovereignty, international norms, all that diplomacy. Okay, very important. Okay, next last is that is about Iran IAEA agreement. Okay, that is Iran and International Atomic Energy Agency reached an agreement, okay, to resume cooperation in the inspection at Iran's nuclear sites. And agreement was signed by Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi and also IAEA Director General Rafael Grossi. With the participation support from Egypt, it provides technical modality for inspections, how inspections might resume, including at sites damaged, okay, that is by strikes by US and Israel. However, Iran has made clear that agreement does not yet fully guarantee access by inspectors to all its nuclear sites. Only by Bashi nuclear power plant has been assessed since the June strikes. The deal is conditional. Iran says that sanctions that were lifted under previous deals, okay, and also are reimposed. So in that, then the agreement could be considered null and void. So European powers, that is France, UK, Germany, E3 have threatened to reimpose wide-range sanctions. Okay, unless Iran allows inspections, accounts for its enriched uranium stockpile, and resume nuclear talks with the US. So, okay, all that very important. That is recent. There will be airstrikes by Israel and US on Iranian nuclear sites, right? So, Iran's parliament passed a law suspending cooperation with the IAEA in July, right, 2025. Iran had accumulated uranium enriched up to 60%, which are near weapons grade. Okay. So all that inspection assess, Iran IA agreements to resume inspections, sovereignty, legal consent, uranium stockpile, okay, all that diplomatic leverage, sanction dynamics, non-proliferation of global security, regional stability and Middle East security, and Iran's assertion of sovereignty and domestic politics and implication for broader nuclear agreements. Okay, so all that perspective it is very important. Okay, that is about Iran and IAEA agreement. Okay, that's about 12th September 2025 current affairs. Thank you. Support me for further videos so that I can analyze all the topics required for UPSC and all competitive exams. Thank you.